Yozora's identity is currently one of Kingdom Hearts' biggest mysteries. I believe I've gathered all the relevant evidence and can definitively say who he really is. Here's the theory.
But wait, that girl, she told me about you.
He's been changed beyond recognition. His heart replaced with another's.
We learn from Sora that this statement by the nameless star is about Yozora. Since the statement is spoken in the present tense and because he is presently in control of the body, this must mean that Yozora is the another that replaces the heart of the nameless star's friend and not the friend himself. From this we can establish that Yozora must either be a heart or a heartless, as these are the beings that can take over another body. We learn this when, as a heart, Xehanort was able to take over Terra's body, and as a heartless, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, was able to take over Riku's body.
But this isn't what I really look like.
Since he's either a heart or a heartless, what he really looks like is the original body he comes from. So what does his original body look like?
Wait! You look familiar! I know this!
What?
You're,
Yozora!
Huh? My name's Sora. Oh.
Stay back. For all we know, the intruder sent them.
Yozora!
Rex and Ham recognize Sora as Yozora, which is strange because we can see he doesn't look like Sora. Sora, Donald, and Goofy all think that he looks more like Riku than Sora.
Donald, I thought your magic decided how I look. Explain.
Simple, that's not you.
Say, Riku would make a great action figure.
Must be him.
No, it's me. I've got the black clothes and,
So what?
And I'm Rex! I'm your biggest fan! In fact, I've been playing your game for months now, and I've already gotten you all the way up to level 47. But that Bahamut boss is really tough.
What we also know is that Rex and Ham have played the Verum Rex video game, a video game presumably about Yozora, considering his starring role in the Verum Rex trailer and the box art. This means that they could have seen Yozora's original body before he is removed from it and replaces the heart of the Nameless Star's friend. And if they think that Sora looks like Yozora, then Yozora's original body must at least look like Sora, if not be Sora himself, for this to make sense. Just because Yozora's original body looks like Sora, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's Sora himself. But given all the clues, I think it is in fact Sora himself. First is his name. In Japanese, Sora means sky. And Yozora means night sky. You don't choose a name like that unless you're trying to connect the two. Second is Yozora's Keyblade copy. On the Keyblade copy, there is a crown, which is a symbol often associated with Sora. Third is the skull and crossbones on Yozora's sleeve. The skull has spiky hair like Sora and is wearing a crown. Again, a crown is a symbol associated with Sora. The crossbones aren't actually bones, they're two kingdom keys. Sora, of course, wields the kingdom key. Fourth is this line.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
This is the first thing that we hear Sora ever say in Kingdom Hearts. Regardless of the ending you receive after the fight with Yozora, Yozora can be heard saying the same thing overlaid with Sora saying it.
I've
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
None of this makes sense to me.
So clearly, Yozora is somehow connected with Sora, and probably comes from Sora himself. So why does he look like Riku then? It could be that it's just what the body itself looks like, which could carry some other implications, but there are still more things to consider. In Kingdom Hearts 3, young Xehanort describes the power of waking as being the ability to traverse hearts to reach worlds.
What do you think the power of waking is? It's for traversing hearts to reach worlds, not for traversing worlds to reach hearts.
This is consistent with the way we first see it used in Dream Drop Distance when Riku uses it to wake Sora. If you recall, Riku dives down into Sora's Station of Awakening, which is his heart, and after defeating Ventus' suit of armor, he is transported to Destiny Islands, a world.
Sora!
I'll find you, Sora.
In Remind, before Sora and Yozora fight, the exact same thing happens. After Sora points his crossbow at Sora, Sora's Station of Awakening, his heart, appears from underneath them, and then Quadratum, a world, appears around them. This is the power of waking, and Yozora has it. It's very strange that he has the power of waking, because it's a Keyblade ability, and Yozora doesn't actually have a Keyblade. What's even more strange is that even among Keyblade wielders, it's not an ability that is commonly had. So far, the only people we've seen who know how to use it are Riku and Sora. So it's very strange that Yozora has it. But for now, what's important about Yozora using the power of waking is that we know where they are now. Since the power of waking takes you to the target's dream, they're now in Sora's dream, and this provides context to what Yozora says next.
I accidentally wandered into this place, and went through some trials. Then, I was told to save Sora.
This is Riku's exact plot in Dream Drop Distance. To explain, first, Riku accidentally wandered into Traverse Town, but more importantly, he accidentally wandered into Sora's dream, where Yozora currently is.
So without even knowing it, you dove into Sora's dream.
Second, Riku goes through the Mark of Mastery, which Yensid explicitly compares to a trial.
You must understand, this examination is in no way how the Mark of Mastery is usually found. However, in light of what they must do next, it was a necessity. If Sora and Riku complete their test, by finding the 7 doors corresponding to the 7 pure lights, they will return home with a new power. At that point, they will both be true masters. However, the dangers make this more trial than test.
Third, Yensid tells Riku to wake Sora, which is similar to save Sora.
In your Mark of Mastery exam, you were to unlock 7 sleeping keyholes. By doing so, you would awaken those worlds from their prison of slumber, and also acquire the power to free a heart from its sleep. Riku, you unlocked those keyholes within Sora's dreams. Therefore, it stands to reason that you now have the power to awaken Sora's heart.
You want him to dive back into Sora's sleep?
We've previously established that Yozora's original body looks like Sora, and based on all the clues, is likely Sora himself. And now with this, we've established a connection between Yozora and Riku that goes beyond appearance. How then can Yozora come from both Sora and Riku? There are really only 2 ways that we know of for a being to come from 2 people and also be able to take over another's body. We know from Roxas, a nobody created from Sora and Ventus, and Xemnas, a nobody created from Xehanort and Terra, that nobodies can come from 2 people if the 2 hearts are sharing a body. Nobodies can't take over another's body, so if Yozora was a nobody, he'd have to grow a new heart and then have the heart transferred. We know from Ansem Seeker of Darkness that the other way that a being can come from 2 people is to create a Heartless when there are 2 people sharing a body. So is there a point in the Kingdom Hearts series where Sora and Riku share a body that creates either a nobody or a Heartless? To create a nobody, there has to be an unoccupied body, but since both Sora and Riku are currently inhabiting theirs, Yozora can't be a nobody that gained a heart. To create a Heartless, a heart must fall to darkness and be separated from the body. Is there a point where this could have happened? I believe, yes, there is. In Dream Drop Distance, Sora fell to darkness. This was happening, Riku was inside his dream. And from what Yensid says, that being in his dream also means that he was inside Sora's heart.
And perhaps you may even succeed, Mickey. But there is no denying Riku stands the better chance, having dived into Sora's heart as long as he has.
What's important to note is that Sora only partially fell to darkness. He was saved from being fully engulfed by Ventus's suit of armor. According to Yensid, this resulted in the loss of all of Sora's power and most importantly, the loss of the power of waking. What's different about this is that Sora seems to be the only one that this happens to. Nobody else loses their power when they fall to darkness. Given all of this, I think it's plausible that the part of Sora that fell to darkness got separated and turned into a Heartless, taking his power and the power of waking with it. If you remember, Sora means sky, and Yozora means night sky. What's a more fitting name for a sky that fell to darkness than night sky? On the Kingdom Hearts 3 box art, there's a Heartless sitting in front of Sora with his legs hanging off the edge of the roof of the building, holding a star. This Heartless is called a Darkling. They were first introduced in Kingdom Hearts Key and made their only other appearance in Union Cross. According to Nightmare Chirithy, they are Keyblade wielders whose heart succumbs to darkness. Sora, of course, is a Keyblade wielder, so it would make sense that a Heartless spawn from him would create a Darkling. But what's curious is that despite being prominently featured on the cover, there are no Darklings anywhere in Kingdom Hearts 3. If we look at Yozora in the secret ending, he's also sitting off the edge of the building, looking down. Although the Darkling on the cover is lacking a lot of color, Darklings typically have red accents all over their body. Yozora, along with his weapons, also have red all over them. In the Verum Rex trailer, Yozora is reaching for a girl wearing a necklace with a star on it. And the Darkling on the Kingdom Hearts 3 cover is holding a star. This Darkling being Yozora would be a good explanation as to why this Darkling is both on the cover at all, and also why it's so prominently featured. Sora fell to darkness in a unique way. He fell to darkness by being lured further and further into sleep.
Whoopsie daisy! Wasn't easy putting you into a second sleep, and he almost woke you up.
So then, all that stuff I just saw, did you put that in my head?
No, that wasn't stuff. It was a dream. The falling asleep part was definitely our bad.
Why won't he open his eyes? Is he still in the nightmare?
That is right.
Huh? Ansem!
Sora can no longer wake up. No matter how many nightmares you consume, you cannot wake someone who has fallen into the chasm of dreams.
What?
Dreams hold our memories. Sleep holds our dreams. And darkness, it holds our sleep. Sora's heart belongs to the darkness now.
It's through this that we can establish a plausible way for how Yozora ended up in Quadratum, and therefore have the opportunity to inhabit the body of the Nameless Star's friend. We know from Chirithy that sleep and death are close to each other, and the final world is the last stop before death.
The name's Chirithy, and this is the final world.
I'm Sora. What's the final world?
There's nothing else beyond this. You've wandered here more than once before on your visits to the Station of Awakening, but I let that slide. The edges of sleep and death touch, and one can't help the occasional crossover.
We know that the final world is connected to both reality and unreality because Sora, who's from reality, can access it, and the Nameless Star, who's from unreality, is also there. Finally, we know that Quadratum is in unreality because that's where the Nameless Star is from. So there is a clear path for Yozora to end up where we find him, from Sora's sleep to the final world, to unreality, and then to Quadratum. To add further evidence, there's what young Xehanort says.
All that gallivanting through the sleeping worlds, and yet you learned nothing.
What?
Dream by dream. You nearly buried yourself in the dark of sleep, and now you're at it again. The Lich you've been fighting, it's not like other Heartless. It exists to usher hearts down to the depths of darkness. If you chase it, you will condemn your heart to that same abyss.
This means that where Sora goes for abusing the power of waking is the same place he should have gone when he fell to darkness in Dream Drop Distance. From Remind and the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, That place seems to be unreality, and more specifically, Quadratum, the same place we see Yozora. To summarize, Yozora's body doesn't belong to him, which means that it has to come from somewhere else. Considering the statement made by Rex and Ham, his original body has to at least look like Sora. All the clues we see point towards Yozora coming from Sora himself. We strangely see that Yozora has the power of waking, an ability that Sora got but then lost when he fell to darkness in Dream Drop Distance. Yozora recounts Riku's exact plot from Dream Drop Distance, which is significant because now Yozora's connection with Riku is more than just his appearance. Dream Drop Distance is the game that explains the why of all of these. The part of Sora that fell to darkness could have been separated from Sora and become a Heartless when Ventus's suit of armor protected the rest of Sora from falling to darkness. There's an unexplained Darkling, Heartless, on the Kingdom Hearts 3 box art, which could be explained by it being Yozora. Because Riku was in Sora's heart when he fell, it would make sense that Yozora, after he's taken over the body, resembles Riku. Because Sora fell to darkness by being lured into sleep, Yozora could go from Sora's sleep to the final world and then to unreality and Quadratum. And thus concludes my theory. Yozora is a Heartless created from Sora when Sora fell to darkness in Dream Drop Distance. I believe that this is the most plausible explanation for who Yozora is. My theory has the advantage over others by using only established Kingdom Hearts lore and reasonable speculation. This is something you'll notice with my future videos on Yozora/FermRex/Kingdom Hearts 4. So if you liked this theory, be sure to subscribe as there'll be more to come. Thank you very much for watching. This was my first video, and I know how amateurish it is, but I tried my best with what I had, and I hope that you liked it anyway. Thanks again.